Good morning. It's Wednesday, August the 19th, and this is Wisdom for Your Week. One of the things that man has always struggled to accept is the lack of control we have over the events of life. Any illusion we have to being in control is really just that, and it's an illusion. We might think that we direct our life and control the outcome of our decisions, but we're mistaken. One poet proudly wrote, "I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." Fact is, nothing could be further from the truth. Solomon contrasted the seeming control that we have in life to God's absolute control. Proverbs 19 verse 21 says, "Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." Now, this is not a condemnation of us making plans for life. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with sometimes following the desires of our heart, but this is something of a warning to us. Just because you plan something doesn't mean it will happen. Just because something seems right to you doesn't mean that God wants it to happen. Just because my heart desires some specific outcome doesn't mean that outcome is part of God's plan for my life. It's okay for me to have a plan for my life with the understanding that God's plan for my life will always take precedent. That can be very hard for us to accept sometimes, can it? It's always hard for a prideful man to accept God's sovereignty, to accept that no matter how carefully we plan, we can't control the outcome of those plans. But rather than rebelling against God's control over our life, we should be thankful for it. After all, who knows us and the circumstances around us better than God? We think we know what's best for our life, but our knowledge is limited and our heart is flawed. And we only see a tiny slice of our life while God sees the end from the beginning. So who better to trust with the plans of our life than the God who knows all things and who loves us more than anyone else does? Is there any reason to question that God doesn't want what's best for us? Is there any reason to doubt that the God who sent His Son to die for us on the cross would not want what is best for us? So I'm thankful that God's plans will always prevail over my plans. So today, be thankful that God's in control and that you're not in control, and that God's perfect plan will prevail over your plans. And that's wisdom for your week.